parts, which means these are PESA registered, therefore export oriented, to the extent of at least 50% of their total annual sales may register with PESA. So you can have 5% special tax on gross income in lieu of all national and local taxes, including local taxes of the LGUs. Tax and duty-free importation of equipment for as long as you're here, can continuously upgrade your equipment, and VAT's zero rating on locally sourced goods and services, including your telecommunications, water, and power bills. What? Next. No. What if you are not, if you're Filipino and you can only sell to the export, you can only export, so to speak, maybe 40%. So you're selling to the domestic market 60%. So you exceeded 10%. Level playing field naman. The 10%, you'll pay the regular tax. But for the others, so level playing field. Kawawa naman the others who are outside. We will also, for these Filipino companies, we will also provide linkages for domestic auto parts to supply the PESA registered auto parts exporters and vice versa. Maybe let's have a fair where all the export-oriented companies can show your wares so that we will see how the locals can supply if they have the capacity and the quality supply to these export-oriented companies. Next. Filipino-owned auto parts manufacturers that sell to PESA, this is what I'm saying, less than 50%, we will give you, okay, PESA, I am exporting now, I'm a Filipino company, I'm exporting only 20%. I'm selling to some of the car parts manufacturers here, but I can only sell, these are export-oriented, only 20%. Don't worry, we'll give you 3 years to achieve at least 50%. In the meantime that you are not, you are selling only 20%, the 30% you have to pay the regular tax. But we will give you already the incentives of an export-oriented company. We give you 3 years to grow and be an exporter. Next. This can also apply to foreign-owned auto parts. We know that there are foreign-owned auto parts manufacturers, but they are selling domestic. So the same. If you're foreign-owned, you should export at least 70%. But we give you also 3 years to grow, and if you are exporting only 50%, that means sobra kayo ng you're selling to the domestic 20%, that 20% you have to pay the regular tax. Next. Now, others. In addition, okay, I recall that after the floods in in Thailand, many of the car parts manufacturers were affected heavily because you also get your parts from Thailand. In fact, I called one car manufacturing company who I thought was suspending temporarily its operations. Please don't suspend. Tell your sister companies that they can bring the manufacturing here. And this is PESA package of assistance for companies affected by the Thailand flood crisis. We will give you a new project status for projects to be transferred from Thailand, from the existing products manufactured from Thailand, if the product is different from the existing products manufactured by the PESA enterprise. Or we will give you a category of an expansion project status, which means 3 years income tax holiday for additional equipment or production capacity to be transferred from Thailand to the Philippines. Another thing, if you are here and you've been affected and you're a PESA registered company, you failed to export or you've suspended you were affected by the crisis, we will suspend the income tax holiday, the counting of the income tax holiday, if the PESA company's production is drastically reduced as a result of the Thailand flood crisis. We don't want to penalize you for an act of God. You cannot get your raw materials, so we will also suspend the running of the income tax holiday. And in order to facilitate the transfer of equipment from Thailand to the Philippines, the PESA company will be given a temporary authority to immediately import equipment pending the filing and approval of the registration of the project. Even if you have not yet applied with us, just tell us through your sister company, we will allow you to transfer the equipment from Thailand. I hope this is still, because I think Thailand is already slowly recovering. PESA waives, we will waive the PESA processing fees for filing and registration of projects brought in from Thailand. And to facilitate the transfer and startup of operations to be moved from Thailand or anywhere else, PESA can allow existing PESA enterprises to import equipment of their suppliers in Thailand in the meantime that the supplier is preparing its application, which means you can immediately bring in your equipment. Foreign-owned PESA enterprises can be allowed to sell locally more than 30% of their production on condition that the company pays the regular corporate income tax and other national and local taxes on local sales in excess of 30%. That's still fair, because we don't want also to have unlevel playing field for those that are outside PESA. So I can see from your faces your concerns because